West Africa, 9 months of struggling with the Ebola outbreak have severely hurt the region's economy. Sectors that were showing some signs of growth, like tourism, have been hit hard, especially in the 3 countries most affected by the virus: Liberia, Sierra Leone and Guinea. CCTV's Katerina Vittozzi looks at where things stand now in this reporter's notebook.
I'm Katerina Vittozzi and this is Freetown. With its long white sand beaches, Sierra Leone was fast becoming the darling of the West African tourist trade. That's until Ebola struck.
Prior to Ebola, around about last year, about this time, we were quite optimistic as to the direction that things were heading because the road infrastructure was being improved. We had additional hotels that were coming online. We had international brands like the Radisson Blu, the Place Resort opening along the peninsula area. So there was a lot of reason to be optimistic. The numbers were still growing. But during Ebola, unfortunately, everything has turned 360. And our numbers at the moment are they're at zero as far as tourism goes.
And it's the same story across the region, even in countries not affected by the outbreak. Hotels and resorts across West Africa are reporting lower than average numbers for this, their peak season.
But Ebola hasn't just chased away the tourists, it's scared away some international investors too, especially in some flourishing economic sectors like mining, agriculture and oil production.
In Liberia, the world's largest steel and mining group, ArcelorMittal, had to put expansion plans on hold after contractors building a new site pulled out because of Ebola. But unlike other international businesses, ArcelorMittal was determined to stay put and keep up its iron ore production.
And we also realize that if we, with what we're doing in Liberia, the economic impact, if we were to stop the operation, it will have a major economic impact on the economy in Liberia. Also, you talk about the workforce, so many employees, so many families that depend on the company for their day-to-day survival. And so as long as we continue to make sure that we are keeping our employees safe, we feel that we can continue.
The World Bank says the best way to woo back business is to get the Ebola outbreak under control. For now, growth forecasts are grim, with Sierra Leone the worst off of the 3 countries hardest hit by Ebola, Liberia and Guinea being the other 2.
The World Bank says that Ebola has cost the 3 worst affected countries $2 billion in terms of lost income, and that's not taking into account the losses faced by its regional neighbours. With growing unemployment and rising inflation, leaders will be hoping for a better economic future in 2015. Katerina Vittozzi, CCTV, Freetown.